7. This is what it says. It says, "But when you see the abomination of desolation standing where it should not be, let the reader understand. Then those in Judea must flee to the mountains. The one on the roof must not come down or go inside to take anything out of his house. The one in the field must not turn back to get his cloak. Woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing their babies in those days. Pray that it may not be winter, for in those days there will be suffering, unlike anything that has happened from the beginning of creation, the creation that God created until now, or will ever happen. And if the Lord had not cut short those days, no one would be saved. But because of the elect whom he chose, he has cut them short. Then if anyone says, 'Look, here is the Christ,' or 'Look, there he is,' do not believe him. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform signs and wonders to deceive, and if possible, the elect. Be careful. I have told you everything ahead of time. But in those days after that suffering, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will be falling from the heavens, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then everyone will see the Son of Man arriving in the clouds with great power and glory. Then he will send his angels, and he will gather his elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. Learn this parable from the fig tree. Whenever its branches become tender and it puts out its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see these things happening now, know that he is near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. But as for that day or hour, no one knows it, neither the angels in heaven nor the Son, except the Father. Watch out, stay alert, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey. He left his house and put his slaves in charge, assigning to each his work, and commanded the doorkeeper to stay alert. Stay alert then, because you do not know when the owner of the house will return, whether during evening, at midnight, or when the rooster crows or at dawn, or else he might find you asleep when he returns suddenly. What I say to you, I say to everyone, stay alert. So this is part of Mark's, what's called Mark's little apocalypse, right? And talking about the end of time. And we kind of began talking about that yesterday. But I think what's important is in this part is the 32 through 40 or 32 through 37. Essentially, no one knows the hour, no one knows the time, but stay alert. Perseveres. We talked about last time, be faithful in the meantime. We have jobs to do. Jesus will return. But until then, we have a calling as his church. We have a mission, God's mission, to be a part of. And honestly, if we're not doing that now, are we going to be doing that if all of a sudden Jesus returns? Are we going to, the joke is Jesus is coming, look busy. Well, no, we're called to follow him. We're called to be obedient to his call, to be obedient to his mission. May we be a people who, when Christ returns, we won't be worried that we didn't do enough. We won't be worried about, oh, we need to look busy. But instead, we will celebrate and be like the servants that did their job, that completed the task to the best of their ability, and not like the servants who fell asleep. There's a lot to do in this world, and it can be overwhelming. But church has heard me talk about a lot of times. My goal is to make sure I'm continuing to follow Jesus and continuing to do the next right thing. And many times I'll do the next right thing, and I may not know what comes right after that. But I know that if I keep focused on Jesus, and keep trying my best to live out the gospel in my life, that I can find what that next right thing is. God will show me the road that I need to take. And some people will look at this passage and talk about all these false messiahs. Well, yeah, there are false teachers. There are people who teach for not because they are following after Jesus, but because of some other reason. That's why it's so important, first of all, that we know what the scripture says, that we have a relationship with Jesus. We are in the Bible day in and day out. That's why this reading through the New Testament is something that was important to me to kind of be a part of what we were doing with these devotions, because if we know the scriptures and someone says that, well, they're the Messiah or is a false teacher, we're going to find that out very quickly. When they say something that is in opposition to what the whole of Scripture says, we can say, "Whoa, there's a problem there." That's why, Wednesday night I talk about. I think it's a good thing when people check up on what I'm saying is in Scripture. I think it's a good thing when people ask questions, because faith is meant to be something that we're all a part of. It's not just Pastor Jared says this, so it must be true. No, look in the Scriptures, read the Bible. Wrestle with that. So may we be a people who are doing the work we're called to. May we be diligent as we look at scriptures, and diligent as we then take that and try to live that out in our lives. Hope you guys are doing well. Have a good day.